We are going to set up like Rory and see what happens. So normally in ProSync, you're setting up the camera, recording, and then comparing to the Pro. In this case, we're going to look at both angles, get set up into the right position, and then hit the ball and see what happens. Now, if that position feels particularly unnatural for you, then follow the concept. It is going to, for most of us, feel stretched out some and forward some. And that's going to create space. It's going to change your rotation, may change your path. It may even change your grip. So when I did it, notice Rory's tees. I've always been amazed by this and jealous. So this is take one of a course setup, which I'll show at the end of the video, but I hit one of my best drives on this hole ever, super high, and look at the spinning tee. That's my best spinning tee ever. So I'm really liking the changes from this adjustment, so let's get into it. We're going to do a Rory high drill that was inspired by the hitting bombs with Rory. This was by the Foreplay Golf group. It's a great video, recommend watching it. But basically the idea is if you set up like Rory, you're going to learn about your swing. In this case, most of them, and when I tried it, hit the ball a lot higher, further, and increase club head speed. So it's worth a shot. Give it a try. And let's switch over to ProSync. We're going to use this Rory set from Michael John Field. As shown on the camera map, placing the camera down the target line works well, about 3.5 feet high. If you don't have a tripod, then an empty shoe on a bag is about the right height. So you're going to want to set it up, line up the ball so it's about in the right place, and we'll look where that ball is flying kind of into the right side. And we're going to switch over to live view. I have my iPad, which I'm recording on right now. So I'm going to send there, and I'm going to switch over to the iPad. Okay, so we're now screen recording the iPad. We are using live view. You don't need to use live view for this. Ideally, you have someone with you, and it makes it very quick. Really, all we're trying to do is get Rory's position, but we also get the benefit of lining it up. Here, I'm going to use a couple tees, these martini tees, as well as a couple ball markers. Ultimately, I ended up putting some blue tape down because I just wanted to mark that spot. And so with live view, holding the iPad, you can just size Rory, mark that spot. It will give you sort of the line of the feet. So go ahead and mark that. And then we move to the face on view and do the same thing. I actually had a second tripod, so cheated. Open the camera map. You can see it's almost on line, about 2 feet high. You can use a chair if you need to. And basically, we're going to select Rory from the face on view. And then we'll go ahead and line it up just like we did. So you can either iterate on it or have a friend do it. Or if you're using live view, just line yourself up, check the points. And when you have everything lined up, go ahead and swing away and see how it feels. I hit the ball much higher with this setup. It was just, and it also, I think, changed, reaching out more, I think actually changed my left hand position. So you can record and then use Analyze to do a comparison, then go back down the line and go ahead and swing and do a comparison. Both these, my club head speed, a little bit faster, about 3-4% faster than typical, and hitting the ball high and actually straighter. So I'm liking the results so far. Now here's earlier in the day, and this is set up on grass. if you don't have someone helping you. Now I set up a second tee just on the other side of the ball. So after you hit, you have a reference for where the tee was. Now in this case, I used a couple clubs, which I concluded I didn't really need. Now basically you're going to line it up. Here you're aiming just off the right side of that big tree is the best drive. And basically, line up the ball so it's about the same size, and that usually gets you pretty good. I did do a swing, just a little practice swing to validate that the size was right. It was, and then looked at sort of some adjustments and lined it up, and realized my stance was pretty closed. So maybe Rory was actually a little bit open. And then basically go do the same thing from the face-on view. Again, make the ball about the same size. I did do another check just with a quick swing that the size was right, and made a few adjustments. And then once you're ready, the camera's all set up, so go ahead and swing away. You can do a comparison. This drive was actually a pretty good drive. But I visually, I really was hanging back way too far, and so immediately made an adjustment. And then this drive was a great drive. Hit it about 30 yards further than the first one, and right on line, nice and high. And then I noticed after the fact. Here you can do a little analyze. So, once you do the setup, you're set up with a really good position to do compare. And I got my coveted, it's not quite Rory, but I got a nice little spinning tee out of it, which I think he must get those from just his upswing. So anyways, hope that works well for you. Let us know if any suggestions or feedback.